Many severe avoidants will discard partners out of the blue. They'll pull the rug from under their feet and blindside this person and completely ditch them without warning, and it's very painful. But some avoidants can do something that is equally painful, which is the slow fade. Suddenly, this person starts to detach from the relationship. They start slowly pulling back. You can feel the energy shift. This person starts to become less and less romantic and mushy. They take longer and longer to reply to texts, phone calls, and it's harder to get them in person. And when they're in person, they can even seem like they're just physically there, but they're not present with you. And people really tend to feel a ton of anxiety when their partner is doing the slow fade. It's very common for people to blame themselves. You think it must have been something that you did wrong to push this person away. And when you push for answers, you get nothing. You get very vague answers at best, or they just tell you everything is fine. But they continue to fade and fade and fade until they either cut it off altogether or they just simply ghost you and you never hear from this person again, or until months down the road when they try to come back. But it is a very painful experience, and it's long and drawn out, and it leaves the partner that's being discarded essentially in anxiety because they're trying to figure out what happened, trying to rack their brains, trying to figure out what they did wrong to push this person away. Well, in reality, it's not anything that you did wrong to push this person away. They're doing the slow fade from you, not because you did anything wrong. Chances are it's because you did everything right. Avoidants run from emotionally available partners that treat them well. They fear emotional intimacy. Chances are emotional intimacy was building in the relationship. You probably felt like you're really getting close to this person. It could have even been something serious like an engagement, or possibly even in marriage. And then when things seem like they've never been closer, never been more wonderful, the slow fade begins. And this is because the avoidant has had their fears triggered. Fears of abandonment, rejection, and engulfment. Because you're getting closer to this person, those fears start to come alive. They fear abandonment from a partner that treats them well, because they fear that the healthy partner that loves them is going to figure out that the avoidant is in fact unlovable, and they're going to reject and abandon the avoidant. This is a result of childhood emotional neglect. The avoidant learned as a child that emotional intimacy leads to abandonment. And because they were not emotionally nurtured as children, they carried through this feeling of being unlovable. So as the relationship is going better and better and things are getting closer and closer, that is precisely what causes the fears. And because avoidants don't know how to communicate and they choose not to communicate with their partners, there is a conscious choice in the lack of communication. They don't explain that their fears are triggered to the partner. They don't tell the partner what's going on within them. They just fade, 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 and then they either just discard after a long fade or ghost. And being ghosted after the slow fade is an extremely painful experience because you had a lot of time, love, emotional energy put into this person, and you don't even get an answer. You don't even get the courtesy of them telling you that the relationship is over. Don't blame yourself. If you are blaming yourself for this kind of behavior, you are pushing yourself further into anxiety and insecurity because you're not responsible for anybody else's behavior. And that kind of unhealthy breakup behavior is nothing that you did. You cannot make anybody discard you. You cannot make anybody slow fade and ghost you. That kind of behavior absolutely is a choice. The avoidant could choose to communicate with you. They could choose to not do a slow fade and actually vocalize to you the fears that they're having and work through these problems, and possibly even go to therapy with a licensed psychotherapist that specializes in attachment wounds. They could choose these things, but instead they chose to slow fade and ditch you, and that's nothing that you did wrong, so don't blame yourself, because emotionally healthy people don't slow fade and ditch or ghost partners. It's just not what emotionally available, emotionally healthy people do.